Hi, this is Cheryl St.Pierre, and in this little tutorial I am going to show you how to make these cute little heart earrings, and I'm actually going to call them Birthstone heart earrings. And the reason I did that is because it's March and I'm making them with aquamarine gemstones to, well, there you go. That's about it. The gemstone makes it a birthstone earring, but you could use bicones with a similar color and call them, you know, birthstone earrings, and you can do whatever color it is you need to make a birthstone, but they don't have to be birthstone either, so just remember that. They're cute little earrings. They're not that hard to do. They can be, sometimes you take 3 or 4 tries to make a pair, but you'll get better. The more you make, the better you'll get, and you will see that for yourself. So let's get on with it. Okay, so this is what you're going to need. We're going to use, please use your scraps. So I'm using raw copper for my demo, but you could use sterling silver, you could use plated wire. I wouldn't use brass or stainless steel because it'll be really hard to form your hearts. But something really soft is good. And it's going to be small, so it's going to be strong. So don't worry about it being too soft. So yeah, silver will work great with this. Anyway, so use scraps. You can get away with 2.5-inch lengths, but 3-inch is better, easier to work with. You're going to need, you're only going to need 2, possibly more, depending on how good your shaping is going to go. Sometimes you need to do multiple ones, just because it doesn't always cooperate. You're going to need your ear wires of choice, of course, your chain nose pliers, your round nose pliers, your snips. Ones that can get into a tight place are pretty important here, but it doesn't have to definitely be the flush cutters. You could get away with the other style of cutters for this pair, but if you have flush cutters, I mean, this is all I use. I love these, this style. They're great. They're not expensive and they last a long time. So if you have to replace them every 3 or 4 years, so be it. And I think, well, then your beads. And I'm using some aquamarine 4mm beads. You can use bicones. These are perfect earrings to do birthstones. So I thought, well, I'm going to put that in the title. So it's going to be birthstone heart earrings, I think is what I'll call it. So anyway, so these are aquamarine 4mm beads. 4mm bicones will look great. The 4mm rondelles will look great. What else could you use? You could even use seed beads if you wanted to. I personally wouldn't, but why not? If you want to try it, go for it. Okay, so let's move on from there. So the first thing you're going to do is take your round nose pliers. Now, I want you to figure out, you know, the size of loop that you make for your ear wires. You need to know exactly where it is on your pliers. If you need to make a mark with a permanent marker on your pliers, by all means do so. But I have mine pretty much memorized, so I don't. And I would like you to take your wire and find the center of it. We're just going to make a loop. And I'm right where I like my size of loop. And I'm going to bend it like this. And then I'm going to make it look like, you know, when you draw seagulls on a drawing when you were little. So like that. And you want both of them to have about the same shape, and I noticed that it didn't make it exactly round there. As long as both of them are the same shape, it's going to be okay. If not, you could push it further down, but you really don't want to have to move it back up. So I would rather it be not quite a full circle. It'll probably get there when we work through it, because I've had them kink on me, and that's maybe why, because I wanted it to be round, and then it kinked up and it didn't turn out. So it's going to take practice. These look like they're really simple, but they're a little bit more difficult to form than you possibly might think. Of course, some people will have a hard time with it, and other people will just breeze through it. So and I didn't get quite the middle one, is longer than the other, but it's going to be okay for this, because I have the full 3 inches here. So, and one's a little bit bigger than the other, but when I form the heart, I'll try to get them to be similar, or I'm just going to actually pull and make that one a little bit smaller. Okay, so then the next thing we do, because we want them mirrored and we want the stones on opposite sides, we want one with at the bottom of the heart, with the right one on top and one with the left one on top. Now, if you really wanted to, you could make these mirrored too, but I've never done it, and they look fine with the way it is. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to round this out to make the top of your heart. I'm going to move this. Okay, and then I flip it over because I'm right-handed, and I try to do a similar shape. And I'm going to stop right there and do my other one, because I want just a reference point of the shape, actually. I don't want to rush through it, because when you rush, that's when they don't turn out. And I haven't crisscrossed it yet, so we don't know which one's going to be the left and which one's going to be the right. So now I think I've got it too tight there, and I'm holding this and I'm pushing this up. Sometimes you get a kink, and let's see, compare. There, I got it. Okay, now I'm going to do the same with this side. So with that one, we just had to try and make each side similar to each other. This time, we've got to make them similar to each other, but we also have to make it similar to this heart. And you know what? If you get one that ends up being bigger than another, set it aside. Don't throw it out and try again, because then you might end up with 2 pairs of earrings instead of 1. And they can have, you don't need to be precise with the size. One pair can be bigger, another pair could be smaller. So this one, I'm going to do the left one wire on top, and I'm just going to get it started. This one, I'm going to have the right wire on top, and now I'm going to pull it to make my heart, and I see one side's higher than the other, and I just want to wiggle it until I'm happy with the shape. Sometimes, see, it's bent in here. I'm going to straighten that out like this. And see, now it looks quite a bit smaller than that. Once you pull it tight, it's quite a bit smaller. So we have to do similar with the other one, because I think that little hearts look so cute. You can make them bigger, but they don't look as sweet. And now I'm going to do the same with this one. And the reason I crossed over the wires ahead of time like that was so that once I got started, I didn't have to think, because I've done it many times, because I've made quite a few pairs of these, by the way, already. Quite a few times where I ended up having to make another one because I crossed it over the same way. Okay, so I want them to be, they don't have to be exact looking, but you want them quite similar. So that's pretty close. They're not perfect, and they don't have to be, because they're earrings. You can't really compare from ear to ear when you're wearing them. And people that buy them from you should realize this is handmade. There's going to be exceptions, of course. Okay, I really like the shape of this one a little bit better than that one. I'm going to just adjust this one a little bit more up. And you just fidget around with it until you're happy. Is that about the same now? I'd say it's pretty close. There we go. Okay, so the next step is you're going to add on the beads. So the top wire, that's the wire that the bead is going to go on. So I'm going to put both beads on. Find that hole. Where are you? There you are. And just lift up that wire a little bit, and now it's on there. And I'm going to do the same with the other one. There. They look cute already. Okay, so now you're going to take it, you're going to support the heart, and you're going to support this wire, and we're going to bend the top wire like that around. Okay, and we're going to snip the wire right there, and you're going to have make a loop. And that loop is going to hold the bead up. So I've got the bead as far up as it will go because the curve stops it. And I want to have the loop hold it into place. So we're going to cut just a little bit shorter. Than the bead, the end of the bead, or about the end of the bead. Because you can always shorten it if you need to. Then you're going to take your chain nose pliers and you're going to bend that down and make the wire touch and make a loop so it's touching itself right there. And then the bead has no movement. It can't go up or down, and that's done. Okay, and we're going to do the same with the other one. At that point, I guess you could just finish the other one, but I like to alternate. So I'm doing the same, I'm supporting it. The bead doesn't want to go quite as high on this one, so I'm just going to work with it. Snip it. Bend it down. Now it bent over slightly, so it's not straight. I'm just going to take this and push it over. Bend it down. And there, that loop is done. So they should look fairly similar, but opposites. There it is. Okay, so now you're going to hold this and we're going to bend so that it's bending over itself. Like that. And we're going to snip it and make a loop. So, yes, you can snip it about the same length or a little bit shorter. It doesn't matter. It's not going to affect the look. And just now take your chain nose pliers and close that loop so it looks like that. And that little heart is done. And now I'm going to do the exact same thing with this one. So I'm going to bend it so that it folds under itself. Like that. Snip it. Great little project for farmers markets or little craft sales, because you can put out quite a few of these and they're so adorable, and you can do it for a great price, so people will be tempted to buy them because they're so affordable. Now we just want to put the ear wire on the side that doesn't have the bead, and they're going to sit at an angle. And that's okay, because that's just the charm of it all. And actually, you know, you could put them on bracelets as charms too. So when you're making birthstone earrings, I've never really made much with birthstones. So if anybody has a fantastic idea to share about birthstones, please write it in the comments. I encourage people to write comments because it helps my videos to get viewed. I don't know, it's called trending, I guess. And it's I'm guessing with bicones, you just pick the color that's closest to the month color, and excuse me, and I would think that that would be acceptable for birthstone, and although you can do a genuine gemstone like this is. Okay, so, well, thank you for joining me in this short little tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it, and God bless, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye for now.